I was born in Italy, 1935, and I went to school. I finished my elementary school, and then I got a job as a laborer. And at 16 years old, I went to France to chop wood. And they took me up on the wood in April, and then they took us down in November. Then I went back home. The following years, I went back to France, and I went to work at the Gaulle airport. There was renewed the airport over there. And then my cousin, he came home, 1955. He says, "What do you do here?" You go, "Why don't you come to America?" So my uncle and my aunt, they sent me the paper. In 1956, in May, I got my visa to come to this country. And I left July 1st with the Constitution in America ship. And 4th of July, I never knew what it was 4th of July. They started to shoot those standing there. I said, "What's going on in there?" But it was a lot of fun. And it was an 8-day trip from Genoa to Pier 56 in New York City, and I had a lot of fun. And when I get to this country, I got a job as a laborer to Civetta Construction, which they were my cousin. And I worked for them for 33 years. And then I went on my own business. This when my hair, they turned white. And I kept my own business till 2005. And then I retired. I should go back where I met my lovely wife in 1962. And we got married in 1967. And we were blessed with 3 beautiful kids, Laura, Davy, and Danielle. And now we got 9 lovely grandchildren, 6 girls and 3 boys. They're the joy of my life. Oh, this is all me, all my grandchildren. This is an old picture.
No. Yeah. So oh, this is Laura here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Laura, she's a school teacher. And Danielle, she's a school teacher. And my son is an operator engineer. And both my daughters, they live in Greenwich. And my son lives in Rybrook, New York. I went to school in a little town called Pietrarada.
And did you go there for your whole life?
4th grade. It's all. Then I had to go to work. When I lived in Italy, there was no electrical, no road to go with the car, and no water in the house and no steam. So for the water, we had to go on the fountain with the pail, take the water in the house. Where I come from, Pietrarada, is a rough road. Now they got the road, but at that time we had to walk. And I used to go to Bardi. It was about three quarter of an hour to get to Bardi. And to not get dirty, I used to take my pants off, my shoes off, under the arm of the umbrella, and walk. When I used to get to Bardi, I used to by the fountain, wash my feet, put my pants on, put my shoes on. We ate a lot of polenta. And we had rabbit, we had chicken, and we used to hunt it, wild rabbit. So, and my mother, she used to make it, all those things in here. I never was too much for dessert. We used to have fruit, because we used to have a lot of fruit, and we used to storage apple. And, after dinner, we used to have a pear, or we used to have an apple. But my mother, she used to make homemade torta. They used to call it bisolan. I had a cat, and we had a lamb, and we had a ghost. In my village, we were 7 family, and 5, 6 each family. And we used to, in the winter time, we used to share. One night they used to come to my house. We used to play briscola, play trisette, and my mother, she used to make a chestnut on the stove. My father used to go on the cantina, get un fiasco de vin, and we used to eat chestnut and drink wine. When I grew up, winter over there was terrible. It used to snow in November. We never see the ground. We used to go with the bull. We used to go from one village to the other to open up, make a little trench for the people. Because we used to get 3-foot snow over there. And the people this way, they used to come from one village to the other. They used to come to church. I had 1 brother and 2 sisters. My brother came to this country in 1949. He come. And when he was back home, he worked as a labor with a contract over there. My sister, one of my sisters, she went to college. When she finished, she went to work in Milan. And my other sister was working in Milan too, until 1964. Then they came to this country in 1964. Summer in Italy was beautiful, because we used to have a good weather, and especially the last years I was over there. In Bardi, there was dancing 3 nights a week, and it was a beautiful place to be. It was a lot of tourists that they used to come to Bardi.
What kind of dancing?
Ballo liscio, waltz, polka, mazurka, the accordion, they play it. So that's the dance we used to dance those days. Nothing like today, When I grew up over there, I had a lot of friends, which when it was very hard for me when I left over there. When you're at 20 years old, you have a lot of friends. So when I first come in here, it was for the first years I was a little shake up. We used to go play soccer on Sunday afternoon with the priest. And everybody, we used to go to church down in the afternoon. We used to go play soccer. Oh, we used to make our own wine. We used to produce a lot of wine at that time. We used to grow our own grape, and then we used to, pick the grape in September and we used to squeeze the grape with our feet. Well, we used to squeeze the wine, and then we let them boil for 9 days, and then we used to draw them and put them on the wood barrel. And then we age them for a years, and then the following years we drink. So,
Could you still do that if you had to today, do you think?
well, I still make my own wine here. Yeah. Every year I make about 40 gallon of wine. I buy grape from California. When I got in this country, the worst was the language. And I got here in July, and then in September, I used to go to night school. And the first years was very rough for me to travel. And my boss they used to change job every week. And I used to say, well, why I got to go to another job? And my cousin used to tell me, this way you learn how to get around. So, the language and travel around was a little rough the first year, but then I caught up. The war in Italy was bad. I remember 1944, when the Germans they came, they occupied my house, and we had to go up we stayed for a month up in the wood. When they left at the end of July, so we went back to my house, and really we find a full war. It was almost destroyed my house. So that was bad. But in this country, as I say, when I come to this country, I didn't go to the war, I didn't go to the army, so I really didn't feel too much. But over there was scary, and it was bad. I was a kid, but I saw a lot of bad things happen over there. I saw people killed on the back of my house, and that was bad. And when the Germans come in July, they burn all the wheat, all the field, they burn everything, because they were looking for people. They were for the men that was high in here. And then we had a rough time the following years because we had to buy all the wheat, because the years before it was all destroyed. So I came to New York, and I got paid every week, and the life was much better than in Italy. When I came to this country, I used to take home clean $78 a week. It was a lot of money. When I was working in Italy, I used to work maybe $2. Oh yeah, there was a lot of Italian. I used to live there on the Bronx in Morris Park Avenue section, and I joined an Italian club. They used to, which is still exists now, the Van Ness Recreation Center, and it was initiated in 1913, and that's from Parmigiano, Piacentino, Piemontese, Fula. 5-6 people, they got together and they built a club. And that Venice club, it was a brick building. Every brick was different, because there was an old bricklayer at that time. They used to take home 2 bricks on the lunchbox every day. And they built a building, 3 floors. We had a ballroom for 380 people. And
how long did it take?
Huh?
How long did it take to build the building?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, they built in 3 years. They built the building.
But
But they built the building just with steel brick?
Huh?
Only steel in bricks?
Yeah, yeah, but
Really?
they used to take 2 bricks, put them on they don't mess. There were so many bricks there.
2 bricks a day. 2 bricks a
Who
day.
cares?
When I joined the club, in 1956, there was 650 members, and now we back. The club is still the club. I happen to be the president of the Venice Club. Yeah,
Wow.
we down to 16 members. So that we sold the building because the young people there enjoying the club. The old people they die, and most of the people they all move away, and so the building was too big. So we sold the building, and so far, the Venice Club we gave it away $450,000 for charity. We gave money to Italy. We gave money to Wounded Warrior, St. Judas, all different associations. And we have enough money to go for a couple of more years.
You tell me the story all the time when you first got here, your first day here, you went to work.
Oh. Oh, the first day, I arrived at 6 o'clock in the morning down on Pier 56. We come out at 9:30, so my uncle and my auntie, they picked me up. They brought me up on the Bronx, and my cousin, his name is Dorino Civetta, and he came at 12 o'clock. He came here to my auntie's house. He told me, "Let's go. We got to go to work." I says, "But I got no clothes." "No, you dressed enough for you." So I had a pair of shoes. Those days they used to use those long shoes with the long. He took me to work. He gave me a shovel. He gave me a pick. He says, "Go to work." And he left me up in Yanks. He had a job up in Yanks. Everybody leave, they go away, they left me up there. So I had to figure them out, how to get down the Bronx. That was the first sweat. I didn't get back to my aunt about 9 o'clock at night. So I had to take the bus down to Jerome Avenue. They take a subway down to 3rd Avenue and then come up. It was totally different than Italy when I got in here, My cousins, they always was nice to me, you know what I mean? They always took me out with them wherever they went, so I learned a lot. But at that time, my brother, I used to see him on Sunday because my brother used to live in Danbury, Connecticut.
Did anyone or anything help you assimilate to the culture, or specifically?
My aunt. She took me around and showed me things. She took me to the bank. She said, the first check I got, she says, "You can put them on your pocket." She took me to Palm Park. She opened me a checking account. She says, "When you get paid, you got to put the money in the bank and don't spend it."
Under the mattress.
Yeah, it would have been better.
Yeah.
After 2 years, I got my driving license. I bought a car, and we used to go down Friday night and Saturday night. We used to go down on the city, and we used to go to this place in here called Valtaro, and this is where all the Italian from North Italy, they Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, they used to be there. We used to go, meet girls. I used to love to go dance, and I spent most of my time. I used to go down to Germantown on Sunday night, and we used to dance. And 1962, I bought an Alfa Romeo. And that was the best thing I ever did in my life. With their car in there, I had a lot of fun with their car, you know. So, well, as I say, I used to love. After a couple of years, I love in here, and I used to love to go down New York City. It's the greatest place in the world. A lot of good restaurants and.
Was there a lot of Italian influence and food and culture where?
Oh yeah,
where
yeah. As I say, Valtaro. That is a place where we all the Italians they meet. Emiliana, all the Italian from North Italia, they was all down there. Well, I used to go to church, of course. Every Sunday, couple of Sundays, I missed it when I used to come home a little too late.
Depends on the night before, yeah?
I buy grape from California.
And then you make your wine
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you make it here.
yeah, oh yeah.
at home.
I go up to Prospero in Hawthorne. He brings a lot of California grape in.
And then you make it at home.
Yeah,
How do you make it?
So you have the whole.
Yeah, so we got a machine. It separates all the stem, and then we let it boil them for 8-9 days. Then we put them on the Damigiana, and then we let them stay there for a couple of months. Then we stravaggio from one place to the other, because on the bottom there is all the way, about an inch, which will be thrown away. And we do that 3 times. By April, it's all clear. If I would have made the money I made in this country, in Italy, I would have stayed over there, because I had all my friends, and you know yourself, when you're 18, 19, it's very hard to leave your friend. And of course, my mother, my father, I know. But after a couple of years, when I came to this country, I really enjoy. I enjoy every bit. If I had to do it again, I do the same thing what I did up until now. It was nice. I met my wife by, I guess, I took one girl to a dance. Then I took my wife, then I met her, and I took her home. So, and we went out for 5 years. It was beautiful. We got married to a place, the Elton Inn in Tarrytown. And my father-in-law, he gave us a very, very good, very nice party. So then we went in honeymoon for 2 weeks in Puerto Rico. And we stay in San Juan. And then we went the other week up to El Conquistador, which was very, very nice place. We had an antipasto, then we had a tortellini brodo, and then we had prime roast beef. My father and mother was there, and my sister, they was in there at that time. My father and mother, they were there, and my brother. And she have a brother. Her brother was there, and all my friends. So we had a lot of people. We had a couple hundred people at the wedding. I remember in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, when I was working for Civetta construction, I thought I was back in Italy, because there was all paisan. There was all people from Albareto, Borgotaro, Bardi, Valmostra. You know, everybody come from Italy at that time. They used to come to see Civetta, and they all got a job. Yeah, I came the 2 weeks before the Andrea Doria. I was supposed to be on the Andrea Doria. My cousin, he was home. He says, "What do you do here? Why don't you go? Why don't you go over there now?" So he make me change my ticket. I was supposed to come with the Andrea Doria. He make me take off July 1st in Andrea Doria. I think it sank around on the middle of the month of July. So that was the day. I was supposed to be in. Yeah, they all come, you know, because after my village over there, they all cousin, distant cousin, but the Civetta, they was from the village, you know. They my second cousin, and all their nephew and the cousin, they all came to this country, and they all come to work for Civetta. In my village, there was no rich people. We were all poor people. You know what I mean? We survived. There's no regret. If I had to do it again, I'd do the same thing because most of the time I really enjoy my job and I made a good living.
I think we got it, right? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.